Let me hold your hand when I say this, but not everyone in college knows what they're doing. As a first-gen college student, I am sick of us making this one mistake. This one thing that a lot of first-generation students are not doing, and it's hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to give you all a couple of tips specifically for first gen on how to navigate college and make the most out of your experience. But I'm here to hold your hand and I'm here to guide you step by step doing to prepare yourself for success long term and in the future. If you're a first gen student, you most likely don't know what you're doing, or at least that was my experience my freshman year. I had no friends, I had no idea what clubs to join. I was introduced to so many new people, new faces every day in a giant campus in a city far, far away from where I am from. Figuring out and navigating life in college was super stressful. So I'm here to share what I've learned between my freshman year and my junior year. I'm now a senior, almost ready to graduate. The best thing I can do is provide all that knowledge and share it so you all can take advantage of these resources. All I did was go to class and then come back after taking the bus and take a 5-hour nap, just because I quite literally did not know what to do. I had no extracurriculars, and that was my big mistake moving into college, was not really knowing that there were so many paths that were already paved. I just had not reached out, or I hadn't opened my mouth. It's the mouth that stays closed does not get fed, or at least I think that's how it goes. But going to college without being involved in internships, extracurriculars, research, or doing some sort of part-time job is a waste of time. And I'm gonna say this because a lot of first-gen students think that getting your degree is the ticket to a successful career, a successful job. And that by our parents, that once we go to college, we're going to be able to afford the life that we dream. We're going to afford a house. We're going to afford all this stuff. Your network is your net worth. And you're going to hear this a lot once you enter college. This is my number one tip. The people you know are the people that are going to give you opportunities. Clock it. Networking. You have to network if you want to find jobs, because 80%, 85% of jobs are filled through networking, through somebody that knew someone, and referrals. According to LinkedIn, 70% of professionals had some sort of connection to the company that were hired. So on top of learning, you're gonna have to be exposing yourself to opportunities where you can network with alumni, with faculty, with upperclassmen, with professors. Because the biggest thing that's going to get in your way after you graduate is, where can I get a job? Who can I ask for a referral? Who can I ask for a recommendation or a reference? And so a lot of the learning that you get in college is not going to come from the textbooks. It's going to come from being able to communicate assertively, network with others, and seek mentorship that can help guide you towards your career and what steps you need to take in order to achieve what that person achieved. Follow up with my second tip is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like the Facebook for professionals. And yes, it's cheesy, it's corny. They do the most. So LinkedIn is for people that are tryhards, the nerds, the A+ students, the people that want to show off. But at the same time, it's what gives you credibility. If you want to build credibility to your name, if you want to work on your personal brand, and you want people to see you as a professional, as someone who has done the work, who has leveraged their connections, then this is the perfect place to start. So all you gotta do is have a profile picture, have a headline, have your name on there, your school, your any other job experience or work experience, and just don't be afraid to be awkward and reach out to a professional, whether that's cold calling, whether that's sending a LinkedIn connection with 200 characters, because apparently there's a limit. LinkedIn, please give a student discount. Highlight your education. It's like social media except for all your accomplishments that you've done at school. Are you going to take advantage of the opportunity of showcasing your skills to your audience or your potential future employer? My third tip is to join a club. Find a club that has a similar interest, culture, career goals, hobbies, interests. There's so many clubs out there. And on top of that, you can also create a club if you feel like there's a lack of representation of what you want to see. So depressed my freshman year. I hated it. I felt like there was no purpose to my experience in college. I didn't have friends, and I struggled to really find my people. So when I became a sophomore, I joined a club, and it completely changed my life. It made me a better public speaker. It made me more extroverted, and I'm an introvert. I'm a hardcore introverted, but it gave me the public speaking skills that I highly lacked throughout my life. And it was just through putting myself in the most uncomfortable positions, putting myself in leadership positions where I was being the one to create projects, to manage projects, to showcase presentations, and to lead meetings and run meetings and be able to reach out to professionals and alumni to come to events that we are hosting. So on top of event planning, I just became a natural public speaker. Compared to my sophomore and freshman year, I've grown so much, and I've learned the cheat code to preparing for presentations through trial and error. I learned this in my human resource class. The people that are moving up in their job are not the smartest people, are the people that have people skills, interpersonal and emotional intelligence. So if you're able to navigate spaces in clubs, in organizations, in internships, where you're able to communicate, you're able to hone relationships, connections, you are going to be so successful. If you're smart, you can be super knowledgeable, but if you're not able to convey your ideas assertively, you're not able to convince others with evidence and knowledge, then you are going to struggle heavily when it comes to job searching, job hunting, or being able to seek raises. In addition to that, you get the opportunity to create long-lasting friendships. I've made a couple of friends that I'm still in touch with through that organization, and I was able to touch people's lives somehow and inspire them to network more, which was nice. Have memorable experiences that I could look back on, even though they were stressful sometimes. It made everything feel like 10 times better than what I had ever experienced in high school, and it just made the learning experience better, is knowing that you have people that you can stress to, complain to, but also grow together. A lot of first-gen students complain about what we call imposter syndrome, which is the feeling that we don't deserve the success that we have. And my response to that is really to get a mentor. Find someone, an upperclassman, or somebody, join a mentorship through an organization or through your school's success center. Really get the most out of it by getting a mentor that has the career that you want. Through them, that you're going to get the lens and their point of view of someone that was in your position. So they have the cheat code, they have the map, they have the knowledge and the years of experience in working in an industry that you are interested in to help you navigate it and help you understand what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are. So I just highly recommend, if you feel like you don't think you qualify for a position, get a mentor, get someone that believes in you. If you don't have family or friends that are supporting you in that sort of professional aspect, get a mentor. So please, go into a mentorship knowing exactly what you want, what you're going to gain out of it, and also knowing that it's going to be life-changing and it's going to open your mind. But also don't stick to one mentor. Only jump ahead of so many people if you actually just ask the wisdom of the older generations of people that were once who graduated. And similar to this, a lot of students are intimidated to network, to attend mixers. Just smile and have a conversation. A lot of people are so intimidated, but just treat them like a normal person. Talk about your hobbies, talk about anything that you are interested in. And there's this thing called elevator pitches where you're at a job fair, you're only gonna have a few seconds where you can introduce yourself to the hiring managers or the human resource management team. So you need to have polished and have practiced already your elevator pitch. Talk about your name, your school, and etc., as well as your other interests. So you want to keep it to the point, sharp. You don't want to go blabbering about your entire freaking resume. Just keep it nice and simple. So I have here a example. And so don't underestimate yourself. You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna have awkward moments, but just ensure that you have practiced your elevator pitch. If you don't, ask questions. Always be curious. Ask the person how they got their position, ask them what they did in college, what clubs they were a part of, how they found their internship. Know their strategies and copy it. Literally just copy it. Much nuance that a lot of people don't get. Especially through social media, through TikTok. We're given so many advice, but when you hear it from an actual HR manager, from an actual person that is hiring, it completely shifts your brain and it completely changes your perspective on what exactly they're looking for. Strategic, rather than just going through the wins and not really figuring out what exactly you're trying to get out of a job, an internship, or a mentorship. So staying organized as a college student, in my high school, we had planners. We were given planners and I would always write my assignments down. And so I didn't really have a system in place until I started utilizing digital tools. Using digital tools like Notion, Google Calendar, even Microsoft Outlook has been super beneficial. Starting off with Google Calendar, there's a lot of variety of options to separate and organize specific events that you have. And then in addition to that, I've recently been using Outlook and it lets me merge my Google Calendar into Outlook. So I've been using pretty much both. Very, very busy and I have so much on my plate that it honestly just becomes overwhelming. So I make sure to keep track of all my specific events on my Google Calendar or my Outlook. But when it comes to assignments, what really was game changer was using Notion. Notion, please sponsor me because you save me stress. You can list all your assignments and you can add specific labels to them. So this class is for accounting, so I'm going to label it as accounting and I'm going to add the specific time that I put to study. When it comes to procrastination, I'm sorry to say, girl, but you're gonna have to delete social media. Delete social media, and I know you're trying to be like, no, but I still need it, I still want it. Okay, I deleted my Instagram officially. Like, she's gone, she's zero, she's disappeared. And ever since I've deleted my Instagram, I've noticed that I've completely changed when it comes to my habits. I have healthy habits through challenges and accomplishing those challenges. And I found that like doing exercise, eating healthy, cooking a meal, reading a book, or even just watching a series, watching long-term videos that don't mess up my attention span have been pivotal to helping me concentrate longer. If you're someone that's struggling to concentrate, like you're constantly picking your phone, I honestly would just say delete it or deactivate it from your phone and just use it on your laptop instead. Same thing with TikTok. And now I just use it on my computer or my laptop. So I know that's weird, that's very weird, but that's the only solution that I have. Otherwise, every time I download it again, it just becomes a time waster. Aside from deleting social media, you want to work ahead. So your professor's going to be giving you assignments the first week of school. So you want to have already emailed them for the syllabus a week in advance or 2 weeks in advance and let them know that you're ready to start class. Okay, once it starts off like this, you know, the climb starts like this, you're going in a positive direction until finally things start piling up and you didn't give yourself that extra grace period to study, to get assignments done ahead of time. So because of that, you're falling behind. And it's just doing things ahead of your time and learning to say no. People are gonna invite you out. Once you start joining clubs, once you start being a part of organizations, your time, the time that you have to yourself is just gonna slowly diminish and you're gonna have to be strategic. You're gonna have to know when to say yes and when to say no and when things are actually going to be used to be productive. Otherwise, you're just saying, you're lying to yourself. So please be real to yourself and tell yourself, am I actually gonna get this done if I go to this event? Am I actually going? It's like bargaining. It's literally money. I'm sorry, time is literally money. And this moves on to my next point. Save yourself some money. I always plan ahead when it comes to just permits, when it comes to meal prepping, and when it comes to textbooks. So first off, when it comes to meal prepping, always plan your meals in advance. Every Sunday, plan your meals, make your meals so you save money. Again, it's just bargaining. What is going to cost more? What's going to cost less? Costing more is obviously going to be eating out all the time, every day. Costing less is going to be making your own foods at home. If you want meal prep ideas, I have my Notion here where I list basically everything that I meal prep. Like I love making bacon, egg, and cheese bagels, anything high in protein, honestly. Like go get yourself some ground beef, some ground turkey, some salmon, some chicken, easily cook that, cook a vegetable, and then have some grains on the side or have some sort of carbs and call it a day. Like it's not that complicated once you actually do it. Cooking is literally fun and you reap so much nutrients versus just eating something that was frozen or eating a cup of noodles. Like don't do that to yourself. Don't be that person. Let's get in the kitchen and actually cook something that's gonna be good for and nutritious for us to study and for us to feel happy. And with that, get your sleep, okay? Again, bargaining, get your sleep. Don't sacrifice it. If you know you're gonna fail your exam, just at least fail your exam with 7 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep. I don't pay for a permit. So I realized this my junior year, but you can literally just park off campus and walk. And I know that's a struggle, but just plan ahead. So much for a permit to park that I've stopped, and I spent 2 semesters just parking in neighborhoods, making sure that, you know, I'm not getting ticketed. I used to park at a 7-Eleven, and I would ask the manager, like, is it okay if I park here? And they're like, okay, it's okay, nobody really cares. So if you are spending money on a permit, you either carpool or you just don't, and you just learn to walk, because walking, getting your steps in is something that's gonna be beneficial for you in the long run. So let's just do that. Let's be strategic, or just take public transportation. You can always save your money by taking the bus or taking public transit or getting a bike. And also, one thing that has saved me so much time is just I quit my job at Walmart, and instead I started working 2 jobs on campus, which has been super convenient because if you're a student, oh look, I finished my class, I can just go to work. So easy. And honestly, all you have to do is talk to someone that is hiring, or talk to someone that knows someone that is hiring on campus, or look for a job career page that your school has. And official, the hours are easy and the jobs are easy if you really want to manage and balance your social life, your also expenses. If you are going to a 4-year university, this is something I wish I would have done sooner, but take your GEs at a community college. It is way cheaper, way cheaper than doing it at a 4-year university. And in addition to that, you also get the time to figure out exactly what you want to do. So I came into my freshman year thinking I was going to do one thing, and then I ended up changing it my sophomore year. Those GEs at a community college, and if you don't, then over the summer, take some GEs at a community college and save yourself a ton of money. And as I mentioned with procrastination, one thing that first-gen students like me, I don't know if it's just me, suffer through, learning to just have a designated workspace where you can study, find time to study. So I designed my room so I can study, as well as I like to go to cafes and I like to try different matcha spots. And my final tip is that time is really your ally. It's okay not to know what you're doing, and it's okay not to feel like what you're studying is the right thing. Especially right now when you're young, you don't have nothing to lose. So take the risk, take your time to really think about it and reflect. You might lose friends, your friendships are going to be different from the ones you had in high school. You might drift apart, but it's okay because change is just a part of the world. It's part of nature, as Ratatouille says, or nature's change, something like that. So just my one biggest piece of advice really is just stop expecting people to know, stop expecting people to read minds, learn to be assertive. As first-gen students, we are, at least me, I feel like I've never been in these spaces before. Share my opinions in a way that's respectful, thoughtful, and assertive. I've never been in a space where I have to almost be my own cheerleader. I have to be my own spokesperson. And now that adulting is just something that's a skill that you pretty much have to learn, is being able to ask questions and being able to not be afraid of what others think of you. As Latinos, we have to learn to be assertive, and we have to learn to hold spaces and use the same resources that everyone else has, because you're paying for college, okay? There's so much out there, okay? So just highly recommend, again, take your small steps so it can lead to just huge rewards. And thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you all taking the time, and I hope my tips and advice were beneficial. The learning comes from doing. A lot of the learning and mistakes are okay. As I said, give yourself some grace. You're gonna make tons of mistakes, and you're gonna figure out exactly what your calling is, and you're gonna meet people that are either gonna hate you or they're gonna love you. And be true to yourself and ask for help. Find resources if you don't know what you're doing. Don't just manifest it. Dreams only work if you work, okay? Dreams only work if you work, so